3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Control Pod. Woo! Prosper.
Let's go.
Musukuma.
Yes.
We nailed it. How good.
Yeah, perfect.
Welcome, everybody. We have Prosper on the podcast, founder of RentalBuddy.
Yes.
An incredible man.
Oh, I think that's very kind of you. I'm just trying my best out here.
We love that. Prosper, for the listeners, can you tell us a bit
Yes.
about yourself, what you do, who you are?
Absolutely. So myself, a bit of an enigma. I do a lot of things, but I'm very humble still. Hey, Chuka. So my name is Prosper, founder of RentalBuddy. My background, if we want to talk about the whole typical thing when we talk about career, I was previously in consulting, and that was my jam until I finally then went into tech consulting and then finally decided to launch RentalBuddy. But beyond that, I've dabbled in startups before deciding to go full time into it. Um, and when I'm not working, I'm spending time with my wife. We do have a bit of a traveling around and having these little quirky little holidays, as you guys might have seen.
Yes, the 3-day Japan trip was,
Yeah, it was crazy.
super wild.
We're like, where's Prosper? He's going to Japan. Oh, how long? Like 4 days.
4 days.
What? 4 days in Japan and you're coming back? He's like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Free spirited is a way to put it, but I'm always trying to live life to the full, do what makes me happy, what makes us happy, and I'm always looking at, and maybe sometimes it's my detriment. Sometimes it's like I'm always looking at problems that are hidden in
In things or...
yeah. It's just that people just accept them to be what they are, and things will, as we talk more, they will start to come out. Yeah, I'm always finding problems in like where people just ignore it. It's just right there in front of you, and people have accepted it. That's reality.
Interesting.
And I look at that and say, no, I think I'm always questioning the status quo, basically. And I think I do ruffle up some feathers in sometimes because of that. Yeah, I'm always
Oh.
questioning as why things are being done the way that they're being done, and whether we can do something about it.
Yeah, so it seems like free-spirited, lots of curiosity.
Yes,
has always
too
been
much talking.
Well, I mean, I think in the short span that we have known each other, like those attributes are very much apparent as well in like the way that you conduct yourself, and always love a good yarn when
do love a
you're
good yarn.
serving at the Mr. Summit Faulkner
Yep,
store, which we love.
yes.
Take us back to childhood days. Have you always been like that? What was early Prosper like?
Oh, how far back do you want to go? Me as a toddler? No, early Prosper wasn't actually this. My love for tech came a little bit later in life. But looking back, me being young, I think I've always been a people person. And I've always wondered like where it came from and whatnot. And looking back, my granddad was, he loved the yarn, as in he'll come to visit us, and you walk with him, and he'll be talking to this person and that person and stopping on the road. So I think the love for people and conversation and trying to learn more about the other person definitely came a lot from my granddad growing up. And then shifted because I started my life in one area, then moved to Australia, and then now being here, that shifted when I started following my dad, began really encouraging me to start thinking about like technology. So that he was a big influence, a big presence to start, always prepare myself for the future, go in and get a degree, as you might really
Your parent does, yeah.
yeah. What's the right word to use? I'm not gonna say what's the right word to use, like I was gonna say like Asian parents, African parents, but
I
you
think
always
just
have
ethnic
to get
parents, right?
ethnic
Ethnic
parents is the
parents.
word I was looking
Yeah.
for. Yeah.
I think, yeah. I mean, well, because you were just telling us off air that
Yeah.
you grew up in Zambia for 9 years, was it?
Correct.
Yes.
I grew up in Zambia, was there for 9 years.
Yeah.
And then my parents always had a vision to go overseas and sacrificed a whole lot to get here. And so they moved the entire family. So 5 kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 4 other siblings.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, absolutely.
family.
Single-handedly,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
moved halfway across the world because my parents wanted to give us the world and for us to be able to do something with our lives, and I think that's also where the drive also comes from as well, because they sacrifice so much, but say get you to here and you go to one of the best schools, go to the best university, and be something.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking at how hard they worked, I get my conversations from my grandparents, and I get my work ethics from my parents.
I think it's this feeling of guilt because I think as you get older, you
Mm.
start to appreciate just the sheer amount of effort that it has taken for your parents or further generations
Yep.
before you. Like the amount of effort that it takes for them to migrate everyone over so that they can have a better life. Of course, they're going to want you to go to university because
Yeah.
that's the dream that's sold to
Yeah.
everyone, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is like your key. Go unlock that gateway to heaven, basically.
Yep.
Go to uni, get the degree, go get a job,
Yep.
and set yourself up because
Yep.
this is what we've worked for as well.
Mhm.
And like reflecting back, just like I never really sat there at uni like agreeing with it, but you're there because you feel bad because your parents are like they've worked so hard
Yep.
to get you
Yeah.
to where you are, or even my grandparents as well. So
Mhm.
very, very similar notion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you go, and then you're right about when you reach older, you start realizing to go, oh, damn, okay, like that's a lot. When you're young, I want this. No, you can't have that. Yeah, you're like, oh, I
100%.
want to go here. No, you can't have it. Oh, I was like, oh, actually, but the funniest thing is like looking back. Not funny, but the appreciation is looking back. It's like, oh, they a simple way would be you move halfway across the world and then you have kids. But they had kids and they moved halfway across the world. I'm like, oh my God. And then and then again, being older, you realize that other people who have got aspirations to, live in Australia and
Yeah.
how hard it is. And then you look back, it's like, oh my God, they did this, not just single-handedly, and then with 5 kids. So yeah, I've seen in the background, like, the sacrifice my parents have made, and then go, okay, I've got like an amazing platform. It also helps being the second youngest.
Thanks, but they paved the way for you.
Guys.
You've got 3 siblings.
Guys, I'm telling you,
We are
the
the
older
eldest, we're the
siblings
eldest.
do the hard work. I'm telling
real,
you.
for real.
Telling
Shout out to
you.
my brother, honestly. My brother, my 2 older sisters, they've paved the way. They paved the way of what to do and what not to do. But then it was also, when parents have kids and first one, the second one, and then when they get to the last one, you're like, you do
You
you,
do
boo.
you.
So definitely, there was that in expectations. But my parents, like when I was going through school, they were like, just get a degree. Make sure you get a degree. Number one rule is you go through school, you get a degree. What you do after that, and my dad was big about that. What you do after that, it's up to you.
Yeah.
And I know I was privileged because I was the second youngest. So at that point, they've had practiced 3 kids. So when it was something, okay, get a degree. What I do after that is really down to me. So yeah, it does help in the second youngest.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's taken a fair bit of reflection to be able to come to, I guess, this realization as well. And I mean, it takes a lot to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
like it's not. I think the maybe for I coined this weird term of like you're first gen, but you're not really first gen. Like they move. It's this weird concept where my parents moved when they were 12.
Yeah.
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 And they've been able to assimilate enough to sort of
Mhm.
understand the
Mhm.
pathway that it takes to, I guess, live the Australian life and everything. But then because I was born here, I'm like technically first generation, but I feel more second generation,
Yep.
if that makes sense. And then what I've learned from that is, like because they're so assimilated to it, like you, again, feel that guilt and everything. And then you don't really realize it because you're like, oh, this is so unfair. Like, why can't I go and do what I want to do?
Mhm.
But they're like nudging you in the right direction and
Yeah.
everything. Did you
Yeah.
have similar feelings
It-
towards that?
Definitely. I think it's being because being first generation, when you're young, it doesn't make sense. But then after when you look at it in retrospect and then you go, uh, right. I think there's a depth of respect that grows after that. Before you're like, it didn't make sense to me. But then you go and then when you look at it later, you go, oh yeah, like you understand the why behind it as well. And especially like in my case, it's like where like both my parents are first, like we're all first generation because we're born outside of here, right? So not only is there a cultural shock to move to a new country, but then they're adapting as we're adapting. So it's like not like they had a chance to adapt and then raise kids in this new adapted form. It's like no, they were doing it on the fly while trying to also educate their kids to adapt to this new environment. So and like being young enough, like I recognize how lucky I was. Like I look at my older siblings, they had even a bigger challenge than I did because they were much older. So they had roots built already, and then you kind of had to restart. And if you know the Australian schooling system, you start in primary school, you start to know your people, you go through high school, you know your people, and then you go to university and you kind of continue with that same community of friends, right? And then I was lucky enough to come here while I was at primary school, but my siblings, obviously my older siblings, they were like in high school, and you're especially like my like where you're at the very end. So when you go to university, you're ground zero. You're not
Yeah.
building. You're not like, oh, I've got friends I can build on. So, yeah, when you look back to go, you for me when I look back at like my parents, you go, like the just the respect and sacrifice. Just you recognize it more, and say like, yeah, yes, there were some wise words in in what they were saying in before, making sure you go this way, but not everything at the same time, but at the same time I go, yes, I understand where they're coming from, but I'm not gonna take that pathway because it's
Mm,
outdated. It's a world that we're living in now.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a new world. Yeah.
No, I'm just
You're just
Yeah.
listening in all.
I'm enjoying the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, Dad seemed pretty switched on with the tech side of things.
Yeah.
Where did that all come about? Why is he sort of instilled in you that tech is this thing that you need to be looking at?
You
Yeah.
read too much newspapers. That's
Too many newspapers.
He's read too much newspapers. So yeah, Dad, he was a bookworm, book nerd. In that sense, he would and at the same time, and the entrepreneurial line will also you see where it comes from through when he was younger as well. So he didn't have like well he didn't have the best upbringing, like he did it single-handedly, but he was an entrepreneur at heart. So when he was young, like he ran a little small business himself while he was at school, took himself to through school, like while basically hustling and being an entrepreneur. He was also a book where I'm always wanting to understand what about the world, read about the world, understand. That's where that dream of going out to see this big world beyond Zambia was, while everyone was just thinking about, school, go work, and, do the traditional life. He was thinking outside the box, said, no, I'm going to take myself beyond Zambia. And so that's where it started there. So when I began to reach this age, I remember it was like grade 9 specifically, actually. And I was no longer just kicking a can around. I was more starting to think about getting interested. And then it was like, you want to start thinking about computers and getting
Your
me
formative years,
the
as everyone
formative
says.
years.
Formative
Yes,
years.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That 9, 10 period is
Yeah.
pretty
What do they call
special.
that? Formative.
Start forming
Or
opinions.
Yeah.
forming.
Yeah,
That's
I think
formative.
like you start actually, yeah, like you said, not
Mhm.
kicking the can around and just
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, I'm just doing this for the sake of it." Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, you know what he would ask me one time like, oh, what I wanted to do, and I would say I wanted to be a football, I wanted to be a football player.
Yeah. Formative
Yeah,
years.
yeah. This is pre that. This is great. Exactly. I want to be a football player. What else did I say? I think I also said I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to be a football player. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Again, interesting. So as my formative years started hitting,
Yeah.
and the ball started rolling. And yeah, he was very sweet. He has always been switched on in that arena. So it's like, oh, you want to get into tech. So, and we had and my love for Apple started a very, very long time ago. This is beyond. We had an iMac at home, and that original
Wow.
iMac,
The box.
yeah, not the box, like
Oh, just
the
oh, yep.
yeah, the still the flat one,
Yep.
and we still up to this day, like that's gone now. There's a new iMac, but it's still at home
It's still
as
there.
a memento,
Like
as
a
a relic, because a
memoir, yeah.
lot. That's what I learned my first how to code on
Oh.
that Mac. Like so, yeah. When I started unraveling and started to know how things work, and I started getting curious and say, "Oh, I can build." Yeah, it was all down on that. So it's still at home. There's a lot. There's a lot of achievements. Yeah, down on that Mac. So yeah.
Oh, beautiful. I love it.
Mm.
I love how like yeah, technology's been able to play like this big part of anyone's life. Like look at the camera that's filming you right now. Like that was my first big installment or like
Yeah.
investment in towards like what we're doing right
Mhm.
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
don't know if I will actually get rid of that camera
No,
as
don't
well.
get rid
Like
of it.
Yeah, because it's your first ever one. That's true.
yeah,
Yeah.
literally, it was like my first ever camera. It was almost like taking that stand of like this is like a step in the right direction
Mm-hmm.
against people who maybe didn't believe in what I saw
The
was
vision
going
you
to
had.
happen,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, it's amazing how
Mm-hmm.
tech plays like such a sentimental part in
Yep.
anyone's life, and it can change someone's life
Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely. And so going beyond that, like about tech, the other thing I think he also recognizes, like, yeah, my chitty chatting and ability ability to bring people together.
Mm.
So then began really pushing for, like, really developing me in terms of my leadership skills, and learning about influential leaders, again learning about technology, all those key things, bringing understanding business, accounting, all of that. And again, at the beginning, it didn't make sense. As things started to, as the dominoes started to fall into that. But now, look after all this journey has happened and still going and looking back, it's like, oh yeah, like his experience, his upbringing, what he, you know, him trying to run his own business as well. So when he was really young, so yeah, it's all a journey, um, to then understand where you are. But then I think the other thing I love about it is that you also see where you come from and who the different pieces of you that make you. It's like, oh, I got this from my father, I got this from my dad, I got this from
Yeah.
from my granddad, etc. So, and to see where you are now. So we never do that journey formation alone. There's always all these people influencing you to becoming
Oh yeah, 100%.
who you are.
No, I
Like
think
you, we
I've
always
had
talk about it
similar.
with you.
Yeah, a lot
Mm.
of like influence from like different people. I think also culture as well, because I'm like half Asian, half European, and then so many different cultures and perspectives, and
Yeah.
the way they see the world in different ways is so different.
Yeah.
As well. So it's definitely like shaped like who I am, but even just like the way that I've been able and gratefully like being able to experience like traveling a lot and meeting a lot of people from around the world, and then seeing Australia for what it is as well, and like all that. It's just like, yeah, it gives a lot of perspective as well. But
Yeah.
your whole family, Queensland, still in
Queenslanders,
Queensland.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
they're
So
still in Queensland
first place you moved to from Australia,
and still haven't moved. Yeah.
Wow.
So, still in Queensland. And before I go back to it, I just want to go back to point. I want to pull a thread of what you said. I think having coming from all this diversity within you, have you ever seen it as a superpower? Because I see it as a superpower.
Yes, 100%.
Because I think I realized like, oh, why, and it sounds like I'm trying to gas myself up, but I realized, why am I so good about being dynamic, about being able to meet people from all walks of life and still be able to gel? And yeah, you can be a people person, but and then realize, oh, your context, culture and context matters, because you sit when you come from a different, you've got a different background, you move to Australia and different culture, and you grow up here as well, so you pick that up. You now live in these two worlds
Yep.
that you go back and forth between. You switch, and this switching is actually
Mm.
contextual, because you then begin to learn all these nuances
Yep.
and be able to link the culture, and then be able to, so you can then pretty much interact with anyone from anywhere, really.
It's actually
Superpower.
so true. No,
Yeah.
actually, funny enough, I didn't see it as a superpower for a long time. I actually really struggled with it because I would live life here, do school, everything as per usual, and then I'd fly to Japan and live a completely different life
Mm-hmm.
over there.
Yeah.
And it would just not make sense to any of the life that was here.
Mm-hmm.
So to like switch between the two, like I felt like I was two different people.
Yeah.
And it never, to me, felt like I could just like truly just be myself, or like whoever I didn't even know who I was.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
Yeah.
am I this person that's in Japan? Am I this person that's here? Because
Mm.
obviously, like you would know, with just being from Japan, like the culture, the respect, there's still a sense of how do I explain it? Like
Very formal.
formal, traditional, all those things, and then you come
Yep.
here and it's like, well, everyone in Australia is trying to break that and
Yep.
go out of that and like
Yeah.
want to move forward and be progressive, and whereas Japan is not so progressive. So it's like it was.
Incremental. So about the incremental progression.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Small
Yeah.
wins.
So I think I didn't see it as a superpower for a long time. I think I would only have seen it as a superpower for like maybe the last 5 years, I would say, of my life, because I
Yeah.
noticed like when I moved to Melbourne, actually, a lot of people that I had met had never left Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, actually, no, wait, you would have traveled.
I would have traveled,
You've
but I
traveled.
think
Yeah.
for me, it's like being born here and
Yeah.
then obviously having Asian parents.
Mm.
I think that sort of maybe 12 to 16 age period was where I really struggled with like who I was and my identity.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah.
not that everyone around me was like Australian,
Yeah.
but I think just culturally
Yeah.
you start to look at like grandma, grandpa, and you're like, why are you doing that
Mm.
in Australia?
Oh.
Mm.
Sort of thing, which like I almost like shoved down as like a pretty regretful memory. Um, because yeah, there's like a sense of shame for like who you are,
Mm.
because of how like tight knit the Melbourne bubble is and like how close
Yeah.
everyone is.
Mm.
Yeah.
But then yeah, going to uni and then meeting other people and you start like broadening your perspective. You start traveling a bit more. You start meeting people overseas. Like you you build out your circle basically,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, life is so much bigger than whatever is
High
happening in your
school.
four
Yeah.
walls or at
Yeah.
school and
Yeah.
everything. So
Even just within Melbourne too,
yeah.
I felt there was like frustrating points where I'm meeting people and they're like, oh, have you traveled? And they're like, oh no, I don't really want to leave Melbourne. I'm like, why? Like the world is so beautiful. It's so big. There's so many people with like different cultures, and like because yeah, I come from a taiko Japanese drumming background.
Yep.
So obviously I've met a lot of like people who did like traditional dancing
Yeah.
and music from all these different countries, and I'm like, how would you not want to go like see that? Like I
Mhm.
just couldn't understand it. But also I noticed that as I kind of into the 5 years of really realizing like how valuable it has been that I have been able to be lucky enough to go travel, or just being even half, I've noticed that I've just been able to kind of understand people, but like
Mhm.
in you get to pick out things that like everyone has certain commonalities, but like culturally might be different, but the commonalities are still there. So you
Yeah.
kind of get to like relate and understand
And there's always the little things that link
Yeah.
all these different
somehow. Yeah,
cultures
exactly.
together. Absolutely. But
Yeah.
and with what you say, Jaden, about um when you're growing up at the very beginning, when you're in this the four wars, number one, and then there's there's like two or three groups that you're always interacting with when you're young. It's
Mm.
school, your home, and your friends are within that, right? Your friends are within school, at home, and if you play sport, maybe one or two clubs. So maybe there's like four circles,
Yeah.
and that's life to you when you're young. Like that's what you see as the world, um, before you start, traveling and whatnot, and begin to realize. So it's really hard and when you're not seeing yourself reflected, like I'm not sure where you grew up, like within Melbourne, and like whether there was like a lot of like other Asian people there as well. But like obviously where I grew up I grew up in Queensland, in Brisbane, and at the same time it's like, yeah, there weren't that many also like black kids as well. So
Mm.
you stand out. And then also you're having at that stage, at that youngster, before you have this growth and realization, you're like a bit of an identification, going through an identity crisis, trying to unwrap that,
Yeah.
trying to discover yourself.
Yeah.
You will see some content that I'll send you. At once upon a time, I had straight hair.
Oh,
No.
way.
No way.
I straightened my hair. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
No
yeah, yeah,
way. Oh my
Yeah.
yeah.
God.
You will see that, and that was and at the same time, and the other thing, see, that I was going through this crisis trying to discover myself. And I love this. My parents were also very encouraging about letting me try these things as well. So
Mm.
not like, what are you doing? Like, cutting it off, like,
Yeah.
but they let me. So I had cornrows, and
Yeah.
then I had dreads,
Yeah.
then I had straight hair, then I had a little mini afro. I shaved my head, like I had a bald head. So
I love
in
it.
high school, I was like, just every season was just new
Yeah.
hairstyle, thinny. So yeah.
It's crazy how hair plays such a role in like identity as well. Because I've gone through a fair share of
Yeah.
hairstyles as well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, literally, I won't list them off, but like, yeah, I look
He
back, I'm
has.
like, far out. There's been a lot of different changes to
Yeah.
the hair, and it's all
Mhm.
about like identity and everything.
Mhm.
I'll touch back on the point of like where I grew up and stuff. It was like East Side, so
Yeah.
very insular. Lots of Asians, like heaps of
Okay.
Asians, but I
Mm.
feel like I looked around and I was like, but they're all in their shell still. And then it was
Yeah.
only until you sort of hit uni, and
Yeah.
then I see so many Asians just like take off. Basically,
Yeah.
like there's clubbing,
Mm.
all these like uni events and everything, and they're all like coming out of their shell. They're like, it's freedom.
Mm.
Like I'm no longer working towards this ATAR that I've been like drilled to like
Oh my
achieve,
gosh.
right? And it's just crazy.
Yep.
Like some of them like genuinely just change, like do a complete 180 to like who they were in school and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like from a young age, I've always been out of my shell. Like I
Yeah.
think from year 4 onwards, just
Yeah.
always like quite extroverted, very
Mhm.
like opinionated. And I just looked around and I couldn't really see any other Asians like doing that in the circle. So
Mhm.
that was probably the more jarring point. But it's a very good chat about culture and
Yeah.
like how it
I
all
love that.
influences. Where do you feel like your first step into entrepreneurship was? Like, did it start quite young, or do you feel like it happened after the consulting period?
Um. Oh, quite young. I'll say quite young, as in high school. In high school, I think when w- through the formative years, I started forming this, and I started becoming, getting out of my shell. I think I really like how you put that, getting out of your shell. I was very outgoing, and because my parents also really boosted me on that to really make sure that I'm never, no one will cut my wings. Is that a way of saying
Yeah.
it? Like,
Mm.
so they were big on that.
Mm.
And that really built my self-confidence to start then questioning. That's how like it kind of unwrapped that, because they were very protective over me to never let anyone tell me never not to try something.
Yeah.
um and again, you're young, it doesn't make sense to you, but now I look back, I go, oh yeah. There were many things, many examples that they said, no, you can do, even though did I have the right to do it? No, but but they let me do it because if I try it, whatever happens, it's not gonna deal with my self confidence.
Mm.
So that really started building in like grade 8, grade 9. I became a student, like into the student council.
Yeah.
So from grade 9 onwards, and yeah, my leadership started, drumming up and whatnot. So throughout my high school journey, that's where it started. I always see problems that are in plain sight, that I just
Mm.
just people just say that's just the way things are, and I say, can we do something about it? So I would say my first ever like big spike where like I was demonstrating my entrepreneurship was in high school because I was in the student council for so long, and I then went on to become like the school vice captain for the school. One of the things that I kept seeing was that students had great ideas, and I'm always about, you have a great idea, let's elevate that, let's try it. Like I'm always this, yes person to say, let's, if it's a great idea, let's see if we can bring it into reality. And my biggest frustration I was having is that I felt like people had great ideas, but then when we go to the student council meetings, like these
Nothing
ideas
happens.
aren't really floating up right for the
Mm.
school, and I was getting sick of the red tape. So I was like,
Classic. Yeah.
what if every school, every kid in the school has a laptop? What if from straight from their laptop they can you can write down your idea, and it goes straight to the council, and it's straight into the meeting minutes, so we can actually talk about it. Not that it has to go through me, and then I have to then present the case to the student council. Say, oh, a few people have told me about this thing. It's straight to the people that are making the decisions. The head of well-being, the principal, etc. But then also, I was also looking from the other perspective. But there's some other issues that are going through the school that teachers aren't knowing about or not seeing,
Mm.
and the student can anonymously report this as well.
Mm.
So I started developing a tool in school that
Wow.
I ended up calling it Project Hermes.
Hermes.
Yeah, but I was
Hermes
very
is the delivery god, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
There
okay.
we
So
go.
it
Yeah.
was in Greek.
The Greek
I
god.
was
Yep.
into, I don't know why.
That's awesome. I
Yeah,
love that
into
name.
Greek mythology. So Project Hermes, this messenger, this platform that brings insight.
I think we all
So
had a Percy Jackson era. Like I love that.
yeah,
I love Percy
No, I
Jackson.
didn't.
Really?
I heard
Oh
of
my
it, but I
gosh.
never got
Yeah.
into it.
I also admit that I also knew the book. I never read it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
Fair.
Yeah.
I had a
Also.
Percy Jackson era.
You had a Percy Jackson era.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
it was everywhere. It
Yeah,
was
100%.
everywhere.
I want to touch on that,
Yeah.
like make a quick point on that
Yes.
because I saw this clip from Gary V,
Yeah.
very prominent figure on, all social platforms. Like he's absolutely killing it with VaynerMedia. There was a mum that asked him, like,
Mhm.
I'm terrified about social media for my, I think it was 12 or 16-year-old. Like, what are my two options? Like, I don't really want her using it. And he's like, well, you have two options. First one is to get them off it, which is near on impossible
Mhm.
because
Mm.
everyone around her will be on it. So that's like, you pretty much have to rule that out.
Yeah.
Or the second one is like build their self-esteem.
Yeah.
Because if their self-esteem is like at a good level, then they're not going to fall for scams, the bullying,
Yeah.
the text
Yeah.
on screen and
Yeah.
everything. And I think that's so applicable to entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Like if you want to foster within your child like something that I guess will pay off in the long run or
Mhm.
or whatever it
Mhm.
is, or like foster an entrepreneurial environment. It's
Mhm.
like build someone's self-esteem. Like
Yeah.
don't tell them no. And it seems like your parents have been able to do exactly that. Like they didn't clip your wings.
Yeah.
They didn't put a ceiling on you.
Yeah.
And it's allowed you to really flourish.
To see all these
To really prosper.
to really to really
He did not just do that. He did not just do that. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god! Yeah, I've never heard that one before.
Ladies.
Yeah.
Ladies.
Jadyn, good
Getting
job.
up and leaving.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was waiting for that moment to do that. His
said-
whole life.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can hear me
I was
say,
waiting
I was
for
thinking
it.
of flourish, and then I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'll stop
Anyway,
talking for a few
okay.
minutes now.
I love it.
Anyway, I love that whole point. I thought that really like sort of sparked it because that
Yes.
video really left a huge impact on me as
Mhm.
well. I was like thinking about it because when we have kids or when like this next generation coming through,
Yeah.
like how do you protect them from everything that's happening with AI, with
You
OF,
can
like
control
all
the
these
home.
different things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
literally.
home is what you can control.
Yeah.
And the home was control discussions. There were. Did my parents overdo it sometimes? Yes, they did. But there was this one thing again. We look back, like Eloise and I talk about it, and we look back like, oh my god, like this actually. She didn't have that with her upbringing, but I did. Like where maybe it was ethnic parenting. There was this thing where my dad would have these long. I'll call them long discussions. Like we would sit there and talk for like a couple hours and talking about discussing a topic. And it was mainly about things to look out for, danger, being aware, etc. So the reason I bring that up is, so there was this, if my upbringing was, you know, no, push my self confidence, but then also openly talk about risks and danger. Openly, like the risk with social media. If you decide to drink, the risk with drinking, all that, right? And then you then go out into the world with an informed perspective. So when I got onto social media, I was in grade 10 when I first had my first social media account. And I went there knowing it wasn't like scary, but I was on there knowing that anything I put on there is never gonna be erased. So I better make sure that whatever I'm posting on my Facebook wall and account is something that I know that I'm comfortable my grandma to see. I'm comfortable for my future employer to see. So, and I've kept that theme ever going. So anything like, and I say everything on my social media, I'm more than happy for anyone in the world to see. There's nothing on my social media that is not meant for no one's eyes. And then I've kept
Get that
believing that.
mentality. Yeah.
Exactly. But that all started from this thing of like, yeah, would have this. It was they were controlling the home. You can control the home. You can't control what the child does outside the home, especially once they grow up. So it's like, can they details inform me so that when I'm just making this decision by myself, I'm actually making an informed decision. And we even compared our social medias, like with Eloise and I, like our when we were young, what she posted on her wall was like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. And me, I'm like, there's nothing I would delete. Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
So it's just an example of like, yeah, that thing about what you can do is to protect your kids is inform. So yeah, even now I don't drink. No, I don't drink, but all my friends do. But again, it kind of was from back there, kind of learning about the effects of alcohol.
Yeah.
From a health perspective, and then so now even up to now I've just gone like, I'm cool with it. But again, yeah. So it's an example.
I love it.
That's so interesting. So taking back to the tool thing, you made a tool.
Yep.
Was it successful? Was there any issues?
I ended up doing it as my graduation present to my school. So when I graduated, I let it. It was there to be deployed through the school platform, so every student had access to it.
Yeah.
So when schoolies.
Oh my God.
Schoolies happened.
When schoolies was happening, while friends and everyone was going out to schoolies, I was doing the final touches on Project Hermes.
I love it. Hustler.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
And then so when we deployed it, it went live Feb of the year after his high school graduation, and I was there once it got deployed, and for students to start using it, and I started getting feedback from the leadership team after us.
Wow.
And like, oh, we're using this, and
That's
it's like, I was like, all right,
awesome.
fantastic.
First taste of it then.
Yeah, that was my first taste. Go, okay,
Yeah.
cool, yeah.
That feeling is like incredible. I feel like that first I guess experience of finding the solution or
Problem solving. Because
exactly.
sometimes we forget that we look at entrepreneurship as this thing about you build something, you sell it, so you make money.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship, even if you don't have to start a business to be an entrepreneurial person, you can work within an organization and still innovate. Entrepreneurship is another aspect of it, is being able to innovate and problem solve. And that's like, for me, doing that thing, it was within a school. It was I didn't build it to make money off it. But that lit the fire that, where we are now today, of like, my first product that I built, first problem that I solved.
Yeah.
Because if you look at how do you, starting a startup, it's like first step of starting a startup is building a product that people love. Otherwise, anyone can build anything, but if no one is using it, doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
So first step is you build something that people love. And you solve a problem that people want, etc., and are willing to use or pay for it. And that's step number one. And so yeah, so entrepreneurship and innovation, you can do it anywhere. But yeah, that was my first one of my first cab off the rank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us a snapshot, I guess, from that first moment to I guess now, right? Like building rental buddy
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything. Like
Mm.
what's happened there? Like you've
Mhm.
I guess gone and studied,
Yep.
got the job,
Yep.
started all of
Yep.
that, and then what's happened?
Oh, okay, so I'll give you quite a quick snapshot in between without going into the details. And as I said, I'm a bit of a talker, so if I go into the details, you guys lift me up. I'm relying on you to like unwind me and say, "Oh, let's keep it up here." Yeah. So snapshot between graduating and now. So went to uni, obviously, but I was at university again. Another new problem formed. Again, seeing the problem in plain sight, which was I was every time we'll go out to restaurants, and this I had this problem in like high school actually, or like in grade 12, first year uni. When we go to a restaurant, I kept getting pissed off at the fact that if your food comes out delicious, you're eating it, you just want a bit of salt or pepper or some extra cheese.
Mm.
You're gonna have to pause the conversation, wave down the waiter, and say, "Oh, can I just have some extra cheese?"
Yeah.
That to me pissed me off. Like, why?
He needs that salt. He just
Why
wants that
can't
salt.
if I just want if I just want some little thin, why can't I just press a button and
Someone
the
comes.
kitchen knows that table 9 just wants some extra cheese and seamless. We don't have to. It doesn't have to interrupt us, our conversation. It's seamless. We stay within. So I was
Yeah.
like, how can we solve this problem? So anyway,
I love that.
It's like
Yeah.
crashing out in the restaurant.
so that was the thing that set off another problem. I say, okay, can we can I revolutionize how ordering is done, how interactions are done? Can we bring technology within within a dining experience? To now, it's gonna sound so obvious, but it was. Then I started looking at how do you do that? No, an iPad might not. The infrastructure costs a bit too much. QR codes. Now it's so obvious, right? Because everybody uses QR codes. So yeah,
Everyone.
why not use QR codes to be able to interact with the kitchen and be able to request either order or request certain things? And so this is back before even iPhone supported native QR code scanning, by the way.
Yeah.
So that was an idea that I had. So I wrote it down. I started discovering it, and then it grew into like what. Well, I always wanted to open a cafe. So I was like, what if I throw away the whole traditional concept idea of a cafe, but it's a tech-led cafe.
Damn.
So we go,
Wow.
okay, what if you build the software layer underneath it and then you build the cafe on top where everything is automated within the cafe? There's people, but as in, for example, you can order from anywhere in the cafe, from any table. It's linked to your account. So when you walk in, it activates certain things about you, where your table, like where you like to sit. If you like what certain coffee you like, it just gets brought, your order is put in straight away. You go sit down and in the next 5 minutes.
Automating everything.
Right. So we
Yeah.
started looking at that and say, okay, and start looking at locations and whatnot. So like, okay, um, how to build this realistically. Okay, what's like if I bring it down to the first step, what do we need to do? We need to build a software layer.
Yeah.
And so Express Me was born. So we built a software layer first, and then we can then license this out, and that will start to bring revenue, and then we build the rest of the cafe on top. So that was the idea. I parked the idea for a second. I was just on here and I started going through uni, studying, blah, blah, blah. And then while going through university, I got involved in another startup, which was around ID verification. And then at the same time, finally in my second last year of uni, said, okay, you know what? What better time to bring out this
Mm.
than, I mean, to now try Express Me than now, because while I'm at university. So then the whole entrepreneurship thing continued. So started discovering that as well. Finished university. I did internships. At this Volvo Group Australia, did an internship at PwC. Worked at Apple. And then I also went back to work at my former high school as well, the same high school I
Oh.
graduated from. Yeah,
Wow.
so I went back to work there as well. So I've done a whole lot of side quests and
Ping
adventures
pong, yeah, ping pong around,
in
yeah.
that. And then so this is what all I'm at university. So then when I reached the end of university, I had to then choose: do I continue the entrepreneurship journey, or
Mm,
do I go see the big world, tradition, innovation, what's gonna be? So I ended up choosing to say, you know what, let me go see the big world and learn and see whether I love it. At least I've got that ticked off. At the same time, half of it is, you take it off to impress your parents as well, because I've gotten into this traditional job. Um, and so, yeah, I went on, see the big world, and then that which led to go to PwC consulting, and that's how that was born, into that, and then technology one, and then finally, last year, in that sense, like, I think, after moving to Melbourne, I think it was a realization to go. I know where my passion is. I've had enough time in the corporate world to realize
yeah.
where my love and passion is, and let me go solve a problem. Going back to that whole build something people love, to solving a real problem that people have. Let me solve a problem that I've experienced, that I know a lot of people are experiencing,
Yeah.
y- and see if we can be able to build a product that people love, and that's how RentalBuddy started to form. And Yeah, so that's a quick snapshot right there.
Was there an experience of the like obviously you talk about what rental buddy is as well, but was there an
Let's go.
experience that you had that was bad that you went, I need to create this?
Oh, absolutely. So
Mm.
now to dive deep on the RentalBuddy, because I was making sure I cover everything, skim the surface.
Mm.
To dive deep on RentalBuddy, yeah. So we were renting in Queensland. This is back again, being Queen in Brisbane, and yeah, we had a rental. We're moving out of the rental, and I was working full time, and everything at that stage, in you're in consulting, you're in the big four, you work hard, play hard, so time is somewhat limited. You're trying to keep up a social life and whatnot. So, and then we're coming up to the end of the lease. Okay, cool. What does that mean? What does that look like? And we had our first experience, and oh wowza, was we quickly realized the list that is involved
It's rough.
with getting.
It's
Oh, you
rough.
gotta move stuff out. Oh yeah, if you're cleaning yourself, you gotta clean yourself. Otherwise, you gotta get cleaners in. Then it's dealing with claiming back your bonds. The
Mm.
agent saying, "Oh, there's damage to the apartment. What damage? Does that classify as um what do you call it? Does that as actual damage, or that's wear and tear?" So I quickly learned the hard way,
Mm.
um, how that what that means, end of lease, what it actually means, because that was our first proper rental, and coming out of it, which then, yes, we ended up then losing money, a bit of money, of bond money in that.
Oh, yeah.
Organization was not there.
Yeah, it's rough.
All right, so that's all right. First rental, second rental. We go through, and this time we got some battle scars, some battle wounds. Again, we ended our lease, but we were ready this time, be more organized. But it was that pain again. It was, yes, we knew what we were doing, but yet the time consumption. We still had to organize everything. We still had to do the fighting with the realtor. No, that's actually, I can quote you on that, and actually fight. This is actually wear and tear. That's on actual damage. Finding the people to come and repair. We did actually damage the carpet, so we had to get someone to come and repair that. So we had to phone around to see who
You do
is
it.
somebody who can come and do it. All that, and again, problems in plain space. We then say, okay, there has to be a better way. There has to be, and there's no solution that puts all end of list in a box in one platform that you can
Yeah.
just handle it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
For
that's
rental
where it
buddy.
started.
Yeah.
Except RentalBuddy.
How
Yeah.
does it work from like a overview? How do
mm.
you interact with the platform?
Yeah. As a renter, and it's the motto that I'm having with RentalBuddy is end of lease done in 3 steps. rather than taking hours, spending a couple weekends. No, you get your end of lease organized in 3 steps. So the way that we want users and we want renters to interact with it is like your lease is coming up to an end. You've decided that you want to move. It's as easy as going on RentalBuddy, select what services you need, and it's anywhere from I just need a assistant to get everything, or as in knowing what I need to get organized. It's either my first time or etc. Or to everything to organize this shit for me, because
Together,
I do not
yeah.
have the time to be calling around. I don't have the time to be coordinating everything. So you just jump on RentalBuddy, select what you need from RentalBuddy. You click next. You provide your details of what you basically when you're moving, and what RentalBuddy takes, it sucks all that information out. It then spits out your own personalized end of list to do list, what you're executing, what you want RentalBuddy to do. We then take that on board and we start organizing that for you. So, for example, if you want movers, cleaners, we start organizing that for you. We know a budget you're operating in. We know what dates you want things to be done. So we organize it to your specification. And all you now have to do is become the decision maker. You just have to say yes or no to certain things. So for example, say, oh, here are 3 cleaners we found for you, which are within your specifications. You just choose, say, oh, yeah, I want that one with that budget, with that inclusions. You let us handle the rest.
Yeah.
And then it goes through that all the way to once everything's organized for you, helping you with the bond claim process as well.
Wow, even the bond claim process as well.
Exactly, guy, hold in your hand, because not everyone is on different wavelengths.
Yeah.
You have, especially what I realize in Melbourne, is you have people who are new to the country, first time renters. You need. So I went in. Initially when I went in and I came into this, I thought, oh yeah, RentalBuddy is for someone like me. I am one of the customers, very busy. I'll happily pay for someone to handle it for me, and it's just a way to just organize things. And then I've quickly unwrapped to go, oh, which is great. It's a bigger problem than I even first initially realized, because you got different users from all walks of life who have got different questions about end of lease. In fact, the whole renting process is huge, but we're starting with end of lease as our starting point, because that's where it can get expensive very quickly,
Yes.
and people lose money. So let's help renters there, save your cash, save your bond, and then we can help you with everything else in the journey. But yeah, that's where we're starting first. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
I have no clue about the intricacies of it, but I feel like Alisha
Oh
has
yeah.
a lot of
You have so
experience, 'cause
many
I am a
rental
first time
leases.
renter.
You're a first time renter.
Well, very lucky and very fortunate, because
Yes.
Alisha had done all the hard yards, and I just basically had to pack my bags and jump on
Surprise,
in.
surprise.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, which is great.
Oh, boys, what is
And, so lucky.
It
I'm
sounds like
telling him.
me and Eloise when we travel.
Yeah.
I'm being genuine. We pick the location together. And there's certain things I handle about the trip, but I literally just turn up.
Shout out Eloise.
I provide
We
the
give her all the
cash.
credit.
You're doing God's work.
Exactly. We know we set the budget. I get the cash. We're good to go.
Get the cash.
And
It's crazy.
otherwise, I just turn up in terms of like, she's got passports
Itinerary, yep,
organized.
that's it.
She knows like which. When we went to Japan, I didn't even know what train we're catching when we got off the airport. Like
She knew. She knows.
So, but that's how
Woman.
we work. We work together. That
Bring
way.
together. I bring the fun. You
Yeah.
guys bring the fun.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it is. You guys
Oh,
bring
yeah,
the.
yeah.
You guys bring the fun.
We're being the fun.
You brought the fun last trip.
Vietnam.
Yeah, the stress.
Oh yeah. Oh my. Yeah. Passports.
Anyway,
and-
yeah.
That's a story for another time. No, it actually is. Like I try and explain it to Jadyn as much as possible, and obviously he won't understand until like he really experiences
You've gone
it.
through
But
it.
end of lease is. Yeah, it's such a draining process. I've just been really fortunate that I've had like housemates who are really like careful with that stuff as well. So like when we move in, we take even like when we do the what's it called, the property
Entry report.
entry report,
Yeah.
when they take photos and they show you what the apartment looks like,
Yeah.
you have to tick it off.
Yep.
We've taken our own photos
Yep.
as well. So it's like we just double check everything every time there's an
Because
inspection.
it's funny how there's a damage on the wall that's not in the entry report, and then that's not in the entry report. It's like
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
And if you don't
Yeah,
capture
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
Guess who's gonna
Yeah.
be paying for that
It'll
at
be
the
it'll
end of
be
it?
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I've explained it as much as possible, like to Jadyn, and explained like not even just like just the lease transfer itself, but like getting a new lease while you're making sure this lease is going on is also hard. You talked about how you were working full time and trying to organize all that, but like going to inspections, which all are held in the middle of the
In the middle
day.
of the
Yeah,
day
no,
because
literally.
apparently nobody has a job.
Yeah, literally, which doesn't make any sense at all. So it's such a long draining process. And
Yeah.
so like to hear about what you were doing, I was like, this is cool. Like this is
If we
like,
can
yeah,
help with a part of that to
yeah,
go, okay, we already know how hard looking for a new rental is. And the
yeah,
other feedback we've been getting questions is, are you also building to
help with that.
help with the beginning of a list? And I
Wow.
said that, and the response is that would be the next natural point, but we're not touching
can
that
only do
because
so
that's
much.
that is also that's a
It's massive.
problem
Yeah,
within
Massive.
itself, right?
Yeah.
So it's like if you are already handling that process, can we take
Mm,
the ending of a lease off your plate?
hmm
And all you have to do is be the
Focus on the new.
exactly focus
Yeah.
on the new. We'll make sure that your old is locked away,
Yeah.
so that it's just done and dusted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and everything too. Even we're now as we launch the first version, what the next version we release after that is going to be is going to also include the move out shop as well, where you can be able to just select everything. Like you even depending on your how much information you've given us, we can also pre-select certain things for you. So
Wow.
just have to again click approve, and it gets sent to your
It's
house so that
done.
you have boxes, tapes,
Boxes and
exit.
tapes too.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Prosper.
we've had some beta users, beta,
Yeah.
so pre-launch users, and so the last one, and her quote is actually currently on the MVP websites right now,
Mm,
about her move. So she was moving in Sydney,
yeah.
and yeah, so we helped her with we kind of gave her the full to kind of experience a full renter buddy.
Yeah.
And so she said what she needed, her apartment, where she's going. We set up a little kit for her, a moving kit, that got delivered to the moment she had locked in a new contract, it automatically sent her the moving kit.
Wow.
Wow.
So she go home after work the next day, and there was a delivery of her boxes, cleaning stuff, tape, everything that she needed to be able to get her move sorted.
It's crazy.
At the same time, we were also organizing the moves for her as well.
Mm.
So we were, she taught us what she needed, time, and I was the one going back and forth to getting all that locked in for her. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so
Yeah.
she focused on finding that new rental. We handled the end of lease for
rest.
her. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Mhm.
So has it launched now officially? How many users? How's that going?
It's we haven't launched yet, so we're pre-launch, and this is
You're
in
launching.
this this is a step of where we're building, and want to first make sure we're building the first version is it's simple enough for everybody to use, and we get the core essence of it of what we need. So yeah, so what today is the 10th. Launch is going to be in 5 days, where it's going to be open.
Oh, soon.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
Wow,
yeah.
that was great timing. We
Maybe-
timed this
wait,
potty
may-
well.
Maybe we should release it.
Yeah, we should
soon
push it
then.
out sooner
Oh,
then.
okay.
No,
cool.
you follow
Nah,
your
let's get that
schedule, but
out.
yeah. So the
We have that
first,
schedule.
the first one where people can actually jump on and actually use RentalBuddy, where they can the request for us to organize the end of lease. Yeah, it will be in 5 days.
Wow.
So yeah, and yeah, so we've been building right now. We've been part of StartMates, which has been an amazing experience.
Mm,
To again learn and dive deeper on the problem,
yeah,
on the problem space, on how we get to solve that.
yeah.
But yeah, that's so right now it's just building. and
Startmates is
building.
a like a platform for issues or problems that people talk about.
Well, StartMates is for people who are. StartMate is Australia. It's Australia, New Zealand. It's an amazing organization that help
Mm.
founders
Mm.
go through. They run two programs for founders, which are amazing. A couple of them, but the two key ones is Launch Club, which is what we're in. So they
Mm.
bring together founders, and it gives you connected to the right people. It gives you the resources. I'm not even doing justice explaining it properly, but they take you through an 8-week program from concept, where you come in with just an idea, or you can be working on something already, and it gives you the tools that you need to validate your idea,
Oh, yeah,
take
yeah,
it to
yeah.
the next level. It gives you the resources. Go to your how to build your go to market strategy.
Yeah,
Talk to mentors, people who have been there, done that.
yeah.
So yeah, so that's what we've been in the last 8 weeks,
Nice.
and then at the same time, you also get to have the opportunity to once at the end of the program, you can then apply to go into the accelerator,
Mm,
or also pitch as well
mm.
at the end of it. And then accelerate is now the next step where you get investment and then you really strap
Starts to
on.
ramp up.
Yeah, starts to ramp up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what Start Me is. So we've been in the launch club for the past 8 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
Mhm.
So
It
exciting.
is exciting. So it's early days. After we were talking to, I think we've had interactions about we uh, you need eight and almost like nearly 100 people that we've interacted with, renters, to kind of just get a concept of like where in your, and this is work initially when it started like at the very beginning, talk about renting in general, then talk about end of lease. So just understand how big the problem is for
Is.
people. What about it? Like, they really struggle with. Build a picture of who's going to be that initial first customer who's going to be buying from us from the get go,
Yeah.
and or going to be wanting to use RentalBuddy, building all that. So yeah, it's been a chaotic couple months, but it's been good. Like it's slowly getting there
Mm,
to doing it. The biggest challenge is being able to is doing it solo. Um,
yeah.
has been there because you're the end all and be all of it.
Yes.
And I'm not sure whether I'll say it because if she watches this, she'll know who I'm talking about. There's two people, two of my friends. They're amazing people. We different skill set to me. One is when it comes to UI, UX, and just innovation, she is out of this world. One, she's got that design partnership focus. And I have been trying to pitch to her to try and get her to join RentalBuddy, and
Mm.
and so slowly I'm slowly chipping away. I'm,
This
to
is your
try-
sign.
This is your life.
This is your
this is the
sign.
live. Yeah,
Yeah,
if,
literally.
when she watches it, she'll
She'll
know.
know.
She'll know who it is. But yeah, and then
Please.
yesterday I was catching up with another friend. So we're the three of us, like we're a group of friends together.
Yeah.
And we talk about innovation. We talk about startups. We're all innovators in here, and I'm trying to see if we can be
Build a
able to
team.
build a team.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where we work together and
Yes.
not just solve RentalBuddy, but we can solve many other problems as well. But yeah.
Yeah, because once it launches, it kind of, yeah, it could, immensely grow. And then you're kind of battling it all out yourself. And that's already, like, obviously, we understand, like, we're lucky that we've got the two of us to run a
Mhm,
business so we can
mhm.
really lean on each other for, like, certain tasks and how we're
Absolutely.
feeling. But when you're doing it on your own, it's like, yeah, you're right, it all comes to you. So you're already feeling that sense of, like, I think I need to really start thinking about building this team and building this out and
Absolutely.
establishing the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
foundation.
Who's that first? Yeah, the first two next people that join. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And we've talked a bit about like content and socials and whatnot. And I think I told you guys before. I read the first employee number one is gonna be a content.
Content strategist.
It's gonna be a content person,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
because I have amazing in many ways, and one respect when it comes to you guys when you think about how you do content, how you do those creative ideas. I'm creative. People say I'm creative, but I think I'm creative in other ways, not not content. And yeah, we've talked about it and whatnot, and like I have amazing respect how you.
You've done a little bit of content though. It's not like you've done
I've
nothing.
done a little bit of content, but the the
What's that
opportunity
like?
costs.
The opportunity.
The opportunity.
Opportunity cost
When I
is
do
crazy.
content, I think about the opportunity cost because it takes me so long.
Yeah,
So long.
so
Like
long.
I have a great idea. That's always I've got a backlog of great ideas of like to do content. Okay, cool. How's the execution gonna happen? What style? format. How are we gonna do it? Is this like a day meal? Is this a story? Is this a how do you guys do that? Anyway, that's
Thank
is
you,
it-
Prosper.
Yeah,
Appreciate
Captions,
that.
filming it.
right? Filming
Editing
it, how
it.
editing it, like
Yeah.
all that. So when I think about content, I think about like it. It needs to be done. You need to do it. This is the
Yeah.
21st century. It needs to do it.
Yeah.
But then I think when I do it, I'm just thinking about the opportunity cost. One video, like one thing, is taking me like freaking half a day. Probably more than that, if I'm being honest, just to get out one. I could do a lot of things in that half a day.
It's a lot.
Yeah, and so then being able to think about doing it on a regular basis, like in regular content, like on like 2, 3, like content. I would love to do 2, 3 per week, but I just know
Yeah.
that's 2 days probably in that week that I'm gonna have to
To
dedicate
do all of it. Yeah.
dedicates to getting something out. So
Yes.
yeah, so when you content.
Talk to us about it. I mean, more than you already have as well. You've pretty much listed out what we do as well. Like,
Yeah.
it is
Oh.
a fair bit.
Yeah. Well, you do more than that, but content we see. What should I say? I see content as it's gonna play a big role when it comes to RentalBuddy, because and this is I'll kind of bring you into a little bit into my world. So as we've gone through StartMate, and again hammering at the problem, and we've been again learning and talking to renters, more and more renters, we've then begun to understand that okay, when it comes to end of lease, everybody, when you ask everybody about it, very similar language, everyone talks, has got the same issue.
Mm.
But when it comes to action, there's about 4 weeks, 4 to 3 weeks window period when it hits you that you need to organize the end of lease, and you now start thinking about how you're gonna get that done and get that resolved. So leading up to that, there's gonna have to be brand awareness so that when that time hits, how's RentalBuddy going to be on top of mind for the renter, right? And so therefore, there's gonna be brand awareness that has to build. So content's gonna be is gonna be a very key aspect of it, because then there's going to be different forms of content as well. There's a founder view, of course, talking about my story, why this problem, but then also the educative content, which I think everyone seems to have a different opinion of, like it's dead, it's not dead, and whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
It's hard.
It's hard. It is very
right.
hard.
And for someone who's not really a content person, it's like it's just more overwhelming to go, is it dead? What should I do?
Yeah.
I think there's still a place for it.
There's a
Like,
place for it, right?
but I get the whole.
But I do
hysteria
think
around
it's
it.
like
Yeah.
a little bit dead. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's like
think-
3 tips for this, 3 tips for
Yeah,
that. and
no
you're
one
just
cares anymore.
Right. And then
Yeah.
so again, how do I educate people for them to start understanding who is RentalBuddy, what problem we solving, in real life examples of, like, for example, what we talked about earlier. You start a new lease, you look at entry photos, you look at the damage, like why is that damage not listed on here? Right. Those are things that happen on a daily basis, that you can really just showcase on as part of content for people to relate and again become aware of your brand.
100%.
So content's gonna be in many ways, and one content's gonna be a huge part of RentalBuddy and how we move forward, how we build the community, how we build an audience, which would then it will play as a typical top of the funnel. Become aware, become the circle of RentalBuddy, and then the next stage, how we get users to learn more about RentalBuddy. So content is I see that as a key pillar. I'm just fucking terrible at it. Sorry for swearing.
It's okay. That's that's okay. That's all good.
We'll
Yeah.
be our pricing guide.
No, but I think
An expression of interest.
We'll have you
When I
on.
can afford you,
but it's so interesting. Like like you said, super creative, and like this is a creative solution as well. Like you look at RentalBuddy and like what it's solving. It's like those problems that are hidden in plain sight, or problems that are swept under the rug that people accept for it to be like the way that it is.
The way it is.
100%. Like that's how
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Rather than like there is a better way.
100%. But I think, with content, and glad that you've already spoken about it, but it is necessary for any business. Like if you're not doing content, like to some or any level these days, like how are people going to know who you are and what you do,
Yep.
right? Like, it's as sad as it is. It's like that classroom analogy, you know, the kid that says like the joke that's been said, but a little bit louder, they're gonna get all the laughs.
Yep. Yep.
Simple as that.
Absolutely.
And that's always the analogy with marketing. Like your product
Mm.
could be cheeks, like it could
Mm-hmm.
be really bad,
Mm.
but if your
But if you
marketing's
can,
insane,
yeah,
like
and I've seen examples of the other way around as well. Um, if I remember that brand, I will say, but I forgot the name of the brand. They're more of a tech platform,
Mm-hmm.
but they do their content. You don't even realize they're a tech platform. So they built I think I think
I know exactly who
they
you're
built
talking
like
about. Yeah.
like over a multi-million followers. And although they hit a different problem where they couldn't really do much conversion because the people they were attracting was not really their customers.
It's the
But
American one.
I think it's an
Yeah,
American
I
one.
know,
But
I know
that's
you're
not the
talking
point. The point is how content people were like gravitated towards it. They were doing amazing, very creative
Videos, yeah.
videos and people just gravitated towards them.
Yeah.
Now imagine actually did it in a way that actually referred, you know, that is structured was connected to their
Yeah.
what their product they were selling.
Yeah.
Imagine that, like
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah. It
And
can take you
content's
far.
that like on that spectrum, right?
Yep.
Because you can go completely out of the box, like
Mhm.
create these Netflix series or these things that I forget the name now too. Like as
Yeah.
soon as you mentioned it, I was like, I know what you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
like the Remy, the Asian guy. Is
Mm.
it? Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like
yeah.
doing a little cameo of like being an Asian dad or something, or like a Chinese coder.
Yeah.
And like their whole series is funny. Like it's relatable. You're like,
Hilarious.
holy crap! Like this is like best marketing ever. But is
Yeah.
it? Is it really? If it's not, if your trouble is conversion. But then you look at marketing. What is marketing? It's
Mhm.
about bringing awareness.
Yep.
So awareness, big tick.
Yeah.
Big tick.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
from the funnel, where are you sort of lacking? And like,
Exactly.
it's really
People are aware
interesting.
of the company. We're talking about it right
Yeah,
now, right?
literally.
Yeah.
So but it's just like you didn't just walk away because it's not your product.
Exactly.
right.
And
Yeah.
and that's why I feel like with control it's like interesting because
Mm.
there's that fine balance of like, okay, you do need some of these because like you want
Mm.
eyes on the product, but
Yes.
then you slip in education. But
Yes.
I think the education that's dying is like 3 tips for that, 5 tips for this. Like people just understand that it's just like
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT, you know, like
Repetitive and
you just give me
I feel
3.
very self conscious right now because one of the videos I posted was about here's the 5 things I would do at the beginning of a lease.
But
No, I think it's
but-
fine though.
But there are
No.
ways to do it. And I
Yeah.
think what we've seen recently is like super interesting. People are like making yogurt bowls and talking about 5 things they wish they knew when they were doing this. And it's not
Mhm.
overtly saying these are 5 things that we're doing. They just have the list up and people assume already. But
Yeah.
because it's not being spoken,
Yeah.
that these are tips. Like it's just
It's not just
I think-
straight talking to Cam. It's like you're doing something, so it's low key distracting you because you're wondering what they're doing, but then at the same
the
time you're
ADHD.
listening.
It's the ADHD. It's
Honestly,
like the
yeah.
Subway Surfer
It's
vibes.
the
Yeah.
brain. Yeah.
the with where with social media is now, it's like
Yeah.
the 2 seconds of attention span we now have. It's like how can I keep you locked in
For
so that you
as
can
long as
listen
possible, so it's just
you can
listening
listen,
rather
yeah.
than you actually watching and listening
Yeah.
at the
Yeah,
same time, which
absolutely.
just sounds so bad. But
It-
that's
yeah,
what-
it does.
the
But
world
that's
of
where you
social
guys come
media.
in. How
Yeah.
you figure out you're out there figuring out how you keep that attention loop going. Like,
Yeah, it's hard.
it's tough,
Sometimes
yeah.
we don't get it too. Like the algorithm is just big world. Big
Yeah.
world we don't
But
understand.
better you than me.
We're
but yeah.
also of the
Mhm.
mindset like you like as cliche, you know, take control of your social media. Like what does that
Yeah.
mean? It's like about maintaining a consistency
Mhm.
and a relevance
Mhm.
on your profile so that if and when a consumer comes to validate your brand or your product or what you do,
Yeah.
they can jump on Instagram and you almost treat it like a business card, right? And they can scroll through and they're like, oh, these guys are legit.
Yep.
You see a profile with 6 posts, you're like, oh, like, okay, that's okay. What's happening here?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. That's the mindset.
So
that we
what's
would
what's a
have too.
validation form? I'm flipping the script here. What's a validation form? Is it number of content? Is it followers? Is it being able to see who the founder is and being able to link like go actually scroll having a public profile as a founder? Because I know my profile is private and that's just how I tend to live life. Like there's this big inner circle, but it's an inner circle still of the people who see my life. But it's a thing that was going through my mind. It's like, do I make my profile public? That you can go, you look at RentalBuddy, say, "Ooh, who's this guy?" Because obviously I'm tagged in it, and then who's this to kind of just then learn more about who this guy is, and then you can see my life,
Yeah.
to kind of build that trust. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, it's so interesting. I think for me personally, I think if you're posting stuff that like, because I think we live in a world now where our personal life, we want to keep it more personal because we don't feel like we want everything out to be out on social media,
Yeah,
especially as you're building a business and you're more publicly like out there. You've got like you're networking a lot, you're
yeah,
meeting a lot more people.
yeah,
They obviously it's awesome, that's amazing, but then there's still maybe a sense of a bubble that you still want to keep to yourself,
yeah.
or things that like whether you're traveling with your partner or you're out and about, like
110%.
that's something you don't need
Mm,
to or want to. It doesn't have to be shared with everyone.
mm,
So I'm like, me and Jane have always tossed up the idea of even like keeping our accounts private, but then building a founder account
mm,
that's actually talking about like you as a person or whatever it is that you want to put out there about
mm-hmm.
just you. It doesn't have to even be about the business, but
Yep,
that you're okay with, but that shows you as a founder.
yep.
And then the business account, but that's like 3 accounts to
That's our three
manage.
I know.
accounts and
So that's
three
a
different
lot.
contents
It is
So
I'm
it's
now
a lot. But I
managing. Yeah,
think just focusing on the
yeah.
rental buddy account itself, I think is probably like, I think enough for the time being. I think as you grow,
And
as
just
you
posting more of myself
on there.
on
Bit too
there
much.
as
Yeah.
well.
There's
Yeah.
trust. I think we've
Mm,
really realized that like at the end of the day with conversions and whatnot, and yeah, viral videos are good and they're funny, and you're talking about this example of this company that does like content that's not even related to their business. That's really common because people, they view that trust is important, or trust that leads with curiosity.
yeah.
So when you go, oh, this guy seems really cool and love what he does, but I don't even know what this account's about, you tend to get curious and go, oh, now I want to know
Mm-hmm.
what this actual
Mm-hmm.
Instagram account is all about. And
Mm,
then they do their deep dive on the website or
mm,
the bio or whatever it is.
yeah.
So I think, yeah, you yourself on it, talking about your experiences, your stories, and then you kind of do a mix of like then the rental buddy and what do you think?
For me, I think like yeah, it's weird. There's a camp of people who understand that content is super important for marketing.
Yep.
I think everyone agrees on that.
Yep.
But then there's also like I want to say the older generation that they feel like they're paying all this money and they're investing in it. So why isn't it giving me conversions or leads?
Yes.
But you have to look at Instagram as, like I said before, a business card.
Mm,
And I think people tend to validate through, people want to buy when they jump on Google.
yes.
They search up what they want. Gyms near me. And then they go on the website, they look at the prices, and then they go on the Instagram and then they validate the vibe, the community, the feel, the look. What does the place look like and
Mm-hmm.
everything. After all of that,
Mm-hmm.
it almost is like this final check off
Yep.
for a business to have a look. And like Full Speed Performance is a great example of that. A business that I've been working for almost 2 years now, which has been awesome. And
Mhm.
they've seen, like, as soon as I came in and started doing content, like, yeah, it wasn't the most polished and everything. And like, we've improved immensely over the time. And yeah, their videos are like not performing or like not going viral and stuff,
Mm.
but they're showing face and remaining consistent on that page. And at the end of the day, they're a sports performance center. People want to go on their website to see what services they offer.
Yep.
Do they offer physio? Do they have a recovery center? Do they have a masseuse? What's their gym space look like? That's what they're looking for at the end of the day. They're looking to buy through that, not to buy through Instagram. Unless you're doing digital marketing, you're pumping ads, business
What
card
are your
aspect.
thoughts on the content of Rental Buddy?
I think there's an
Oh, what a
opportunity.
question.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think there's an opportunity for founder-led content, as everyone sort of speaks about. And then it's funny because we've started marketing for a couple like apps or platforms more recently,
Yes.
Okay.
and it's one of those things where it's like, what do you even do? Like, do you advertise like the UI, the UX, and that sort of stuff? Like, what does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
We've done a couple maybe walkthrough sort of videos where like you're just explaining what it looks like,
Mhm.
and
How it works.
the idea for that sort of content is to hopefully show the viewer or the consumer like whether it's an aesthetic thing, because sometimes people prefer an app that looks more aesthetic, like they'll lean
Exactly.
towards that.
Yep.
For sure. I'm sure you know all about it, right?
And I fall into that trap myself, and I have to sometimes tell myself to say it doesn't have to be the most aesthetic theme, because I get stuck in the loop of trying to make it aesthetic and spend way too much time.
It should be
Right?
usable.
It should be usable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Usable. Sure. Like, I think the bubbly, like bold font is really popular right now
yeah.
and everything in like the app space. So that's important. I would do maybe some walkthroughs, demonstrations, but it's like you said, right? You don't have to overtly educate someone that they have the problem. You just have to be able to relate to them on a particular aspect of it.
Yeah.
So you could find a particular format that works where you're just asking the question. It can be rhetorical. Have you ever, tried to transfer your lease and this happens? And then you just go through every literal possible scenario. And that's like a content format that you can do for quite some
Scenario
time
after
as well.
scenario.
It's
That's
all
true.
just scenario
Yeah.
based, right?
Yeah.
Like we do a lot of comparison videos. We've seen you do a
Yeah, I'm on
comparison
as well.
video
We love that.
as well. And we love that. And it's about, like you said, bringing awareness to the person's problem. They might know it in the back of their head,
Yep.
but I think seeing it explained by someone else is going to create that relatability.
Absolutely.
And so, I mean, I would personally tune into something like that. But yeah, sort of off the top of my head, it's sort of that. And then you talk about your why and everything. And I think when you talk about your why, people tend to flock in
Yes.
because they
Yeah.
relate to it. But I'm also saying, like, this is a whole loophole and I could talk about forever, but there's like fake authenticity as well.
I know.
And like there's these people that jump on and they like fabricate their story as well. And I think you can see straight through it. So you have to be mindful of like what your story is, who you are, why you're doing what you're doing. And it's not just because you want to, quit your 9 to 5 and make it through content marketing. Like that, I've seen way too many videos
Yeah.
of that where it's like, I just quit my job and like became an influencer. And it's like, okay, cool. Like it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Join the queue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally.
join the
Right?
queue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. Right. So, who are you to the core? And like this whole podcast has been awesome in unraveling all of that. And we're very
Content.
yeah.
Intense.
We've been very, very grateful to
Good.
hear your story, and that's
Yeah.
probably like where I would start. And if any business owner is listening and they are struggling with content, that is where I would start. Like, where
Absolutely.
like where does marketing centralize around awareness? And you want awareness around the problems. You want awareness around your why as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the saying? Get as many. It's the eyeballs on you, and get as many eyeballs as relevant eyeballs. I guess. Yes.
Relevant
Yeah.
eyeballs. Yeah, that's the key. That's the key.
The ones
up in
with
there.
deep pockets.
That's it.
Deep pockets. Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Jadyn, build a beautiful enough product. Don't even
Don't
have to worry
worry
about
about
that.
that.
People would just say, "Yes, take my money."
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. But you guys will kind of get to fun little thing as well. Is like I brought my laptop so that obviously there is a public website which is just kind of just talking about RentalBuddy and just very very high level. But then there's a back end one where you can kind of get to be able to click through. You can see what's coming as well. See the move out shop, the body AI, the
I love it.
Love to see it.
all that.
Exciting.
Yeah. So you see after the podcast. I'm keen to
Get our thoughts.
give you a quick
Yeah,
Yay.
please.
around
Love
it.
to see it.
Love it.
Prosper, thank
Thank
you
you so much.
so much for hopping on the Control Pod. Like this has been one of the all time chats, to be honest. And I feel like we suspected that on the way in as well. Like your journey, I was like super keen to unpack, and I'm sure Alicia's also sat there being like, I can relate to this as well
I
in
love
terms
it.
of
Yeah.
like your upbringing has been super eye opening and like has given myself a lot of perspective on I guess like the superpower that we can have as people with a different background as well and different upbringings. But what you're building is incredible, and thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you
Really
very much for
appreciate it.
inviting me onto this podcast. I know I've already told you this. I've been stalking you guys for a minute in the shadows, and then I came on board with Mr. Simon, and then I started seeing you guys. And I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. And being just in your orbit and seeing the amazing content that you guys are doing is phenomenal. So much for me to learn from you guys, and again, as I've already said it, but I'll say it again. So much respect.
Likewise,
the
man.
content
No,
game.
same for.
Yeah, but
Same for you
honestly,
too.
being here, it's been a great pleasure. Get to talk about RentalBuddy and the journey that we're on, and I'm looking forward to. I'm sure down the road we'll do another catch up, see what's been happening, and then perhaps this conversation will be slightly different. Or we'll be talking about what the three of us are doing, and
Yeah.
around
Manifestations.
RentalBuddy. I'm just putting it out there.
Thank you so much. If you are still watching, thank you so much. Be sure to rate the show 5 stars. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Give it a like, comment. Let us know that you're there.
Yep.
But until next time, we'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye.